Okay, excellent. Okay, hearing none, then I don't see any online. We can move forward.
I don't know if I told you.
Sure.
We found out you can't just unmute on Zoom.
Yeah,
I think Brittany's live mic.
Hot mic.
There's
Okay.
we can mute people. Good.
That can be dangerous.
Okay, okay, understood. We're moving on then. Old business, Marina update.
We have no Marina.
No Marina update, okay. Airport update.
That we do have.
We do have one of those. Good morning, commissioners.
Morning. Oh my gosh, we even have a holder for the mic. You're so
Ask and you shall receive, that's right.
I'm going to walk you through the upcoming runway rehabilitation project at Scappoose Airport. This is going to be one of the most important projects we'll take on for the airport's long-term safety and usability. The way we manage the construction is going to affect our commercial tenants, our pilots, and the airport community. We have a decision ahead of us between speed, cost, and keeping the runway open. Slide. In 2005, we rehabilitated the runway 1533, and in 2018, extended taxiway Bravo, both with long-term closures. The pictures you see, not here, but previously of the construction are from 2018, as noted in the presentation on the PowerPoint. In 2021, the Oregon Department of Aviation commissioned a pavement study. The study found that the pavement had reached its useful life and the safety of our pilots became more adverse. Slide. Following the commission of the study, our engineers of record, Century West and the port, developed a scope of work to rehabilitate the runway and electrical system. As mentioned many times in many of these meetings, this includes reconstruction of the southern 800 feet, replace the medium intensity runway lighting or MURL system, replacing the existing precision approach indicators, which is our PAPI lights, replacing our runway end identifier lights, or upgrade the airport electrical building and install spare conduits where needed and construct runway markings and also fill the cracks and for the remainder of the runway. This project is about keeping the pavement safe for our pilots and aircrafts, meeting FAA compliance and investing in the future, the airport's future. FAA and ODAB will fund the core of this project. As you can see, that is the project cost breakdown. The challenge is how we handle the construction and balancing the cost and access for our users. Slide. We have three options. We shut down the runway for 90 days. 2, phase the work, which keeps part of the runway open for some of the time. Or 3, do a mix of night work and phase closures. Each comes with trade-offs, cost, time, and how much access pilots will have.
If you looked at the previous slide, the cost breakdown is for option 1. So anything we do different than that is going to be more money.
Yeah. Slide. Option 1, full closure, 90 days straight. It's the least expensive to the port. There's no additional cost. Contractors come in, do the job, one shot, and we're done. The downside, no flights in or out for 3 months. There's a large portion of the aviation community in Oregon that has done this year. 90 days is longer than most because we were doing electrical work. However, Aurora did a full closure for 35 days. No in, no out. They just went ahead and did it.
Who was that? Aurora.
A question, I don't mean to interrupt you in the middle of the slide there. Have we reached out to all of our tenants? I mean, obviously everybody's not pleased, naturally, not because of anything we did, it's we have to do it, but and how much is it going to affect business for some of these? Okay, all right, great.
So that's option 1. Option 2, slide. Option 2 is phased construction. So 65 days of closure, not all at once. So instead of 90, 65 total days, 50 of those days, we would have a 4,000 foot usable runway available during the daytime. Just please keep in mind, there will be no electrical in this, so we'll have no instrument landing system, no lights, so nighttime work or nighttime flying is highly discouraged. Highly discouraged. So we'll continue. The benefit is obvious. The planes will still be able to operate part of the time, which keeps businesses running. And this is what we did in 2005 when we rehabilitated the runway. This is called a displaced threshold. The downside is the project stretches out to 115 days, adds cost approximately 162 days. Please keep in mind, these are all approximations. Until we just make a decision and move forward, we will have no concrete numbers, just approximates.
162,000, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So we're paying for things like extra mobilization, temporary markings, barricades, additional time from our engineers, the contractors, electricians, all of those things. And it's important to understand the FAA will not cover the extra costs. They're paying for the rehabilitation of the runway, not keeping the airport open, not keeping the runway open. Side. Option 3, night work. The runway stays open during the day, but it closes at night so crews can work on electrical systems and paving. There will still be some periods of full closure, approximately 39 days, if I'm counting correctly. But the idea is to limit those to shorter windows. As you can see, we have 2, 35, and 2. And the benefit, daytime use continues. And the drawback, it's logistically challenging in all fronts, financially, the way we have to account for our funds with the FAA, and just cleaning up every day to prepare for night work at night. It's just a lot. It takes longer overall, and night work tends to drive up the cost. It's user-friendly, but it's hard to execute. As you can see, the cost on this one is about $80,000 more. Yeah. For clarity, these are approximations from our engineer.
What's the full number of days for that option?
Of closure,
Just an addition of all of those.
yeah, it's 100 and doing that, 20. Yeah.
49.
It's gonna extend it again.
Even further. Okay.
Mhm. Slide. One thing, and I've mentioned this, I want to be clear about, is the FAA will pay for the runway rehabilitation and electrical work, but any additional cost tied to phasing, extra work, et cetera, night work, barricades, overtime, all those things will come at the cost to the port. The decision really comes down to, do we want to accept the full closure and save money, or do we want to pay the extra and keep the planes flying during construction? And that is the question ahead of us, not today. On October 20th, is going to be a meeting with our engineer of record, all of our commercial tenants, the airport advisory committee, and staff, where we will be running through all of these options with our commercial tenants, discussing alternatives perhaps. Again, we have not signed any contracts. We don't have anything concrete. You have made no decisions about what we're doing. We're just still going to, we've asked our commission or all invitees of the meeting to present questions ahead of time so our engineers can look at some of the alternatives that maybe they have, discuss those, and come to a recommendation to bring to the commission on the 20th. Next slide. So I just want to run through these again of 3 options. Option 1 is the fastest and least expensive, but we completely shut down for 90 days. Option 2 gives us some runway access, but takes longer and adds extra cost. Option 3 gives us even more daytime access, but most complex and also adds even more cost. There's no perfect solution to this. You know this. It's about balance and what makes sense for the airport and for the port. Questions?
Are we considering an option of planes going to Hillsborough and then have a shuttle back to here?
We're considering everything. that would be an unusual, like Aurora didn't do that. Like most small GAs just don't.
It would certainly be a lot less expensive than $162,000.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I haven't looked into the cost of how much the shuttle would be or what that would look like, or even if our tenants are interested in that.
Right. That's the other thing is what are our tenants interested in?
And right now, we're really focused on our commercial tenants.
Sure,
Our
of
team
course.
tenants,
Yeah,
we love them.
yes.
That's my main concern as well, is any commercial type traffic, recreational craft. Obviously, I'm not trying to exclude them but any businesses that are out there that have to operate like that. It's a tough decision. I know that's a lot of money. The 4,000 square foot runway, would that allow, any of our current commercial tenants to transit in and out?
Yeah, I mean, it will work. It will be an adjustment. I would just, American Jet would need to make some adjustments with what they're landing. They do have some smaller aircraft, so they would have to make some adjustments, but everybody else, specifically Intercept, which is another very busy business, they would be fine. I mean, we're thinking of, so planes that are coming in and out often are Intercept, and right now, or not even right now, but soon American Jet, that's 2. Jim Bannock at Sportcopter, this will not affect him. Arrow, this will not affect them. Our 2 FBOs in AirSense Avionics and Overall, which are both, this could affect them, but they don't fly in and out daily. They're more of a weekly and every other week. They will come in, drop their craft off, and then leave a couple weeks later. So for them, it will be impactful, but it won't be a daily impact. It will be,
There'll be access to Transwestern for fuel and anywhere else that's out there essentially.
There will be access, but it could be a little,
Tricky.
No, I'm just trying to think about anybody that's out there, because I know, again, tough decision here. I mean.
And I mean, we're thinking of all of the, we're making very thoughtful decisions on how we can approach our tenants and what that would look like. But first, we need to come to a recommendation from you guys of what we can afford, what we want to do, which at that point, we will make all the adjustments internally regarding how we will approach the tenants.
So are you looking at an option of cost sharing?
That is on the table. Everything is on the table right now.
To me, that's the obvious thing to do.
Expectation wise, there hasn't been an airport in the last few years that has done that, because
They haven't done it because.
I don't know what their personal.
They're already losing money.
They're already, yeah.
So for them to be losing money and then also pay to try to speed it up, I mean, probably a math problem for them. But to be able to have some access versus none, yeah, maybe it does work out. I think you said Brian Yablon can schedule his work to have it pre-ready and projects that he can do over
Potentially,
time.
around.
Yeah, not everybody has that luxury though. Obviously you can't sell fuel if you can't land planes.
And just because I can't recollect, and this is obviously next summer, June through September type window thing.
Yeah. Yep, it'll be next.
So if you take the longest option, you're running into possible problems with weather, which could extend it even further. That's to me, the biggest problem is there's no definite closure time.
We do have it in our contract with United Civil Group, Western United Civil Group.
Only if we do the straight 90 days though, right?
Yeah, only if we do that. It's going to be, I think, about $2,000 per day over the contracted time that they will pay out.
Okay.
For not completing the job on time. But
Lacey, does this include staff time? And would the staff time go up with each option, do you think? Would it be more intensive?
Option 3 will be significantly more intensive for admin finance because of although remember, a lot of some of the work with the finance piece of separating out what's FAA contracted and would be additional work for us will be done by Century West separate. But yeah, staff time, I can't tell you how much.
That's not included in this, in these numbers. Okay.
No, not for us. So the reason for my presentation was I just wanted you all to be aware that this decision is coming. As I mentioned, the 20th will be when I have that meeting with commercial tenants. I'm hoping that between the group, we can come to some sort of recommendation.
Good luck with that.
Bring something back to you for you guys to make a decision. It's a big one.
So one of the first questions is, I guess, to Guy, is how much wiggle room do we have in our budget?
Option one.
I knew he was gonna say that.
Yeah, well, we needed to hear it. Yeah.
And back to your posturing, I mean, I don't want to keep more of your time, but I've spoken to many airport managers where businesses, as Sean said, we're already having to move, whatever the mobilization to move part of our business or transition part of our business for a period of time. That costs staff time. And then, adding an additional $50,000, for example, just throwing a number out there. It doesn't happen very often. It's not something that happens, but doesn't mean we can't ask.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing. It's not our decision. If they're willing to pay, then of course,
right?
So it's not our decision, it's their decision. And it's a business decision that they need to make. And hopefully before they come to this meeting, they're aware that this is something that can be on the table.
Yeah, they have all the documents.
Okay.
They have everything they need, and I've taken many questions from them, and we'll see.
And so what is the temperature of the room, so to speak?
Cold.
Mm-hmm.
Chilly. I mean,
Yeah, well, of course, it's impactful to two of our, especially to two of our clients.
yes.
Yeah.
How much lease money do we take in a month at the airport, do you know?
I can't speak to the lease revenue. I haven't pulled that, but I did look at our T-hanger tenants, and we bring in $30,000, about $31,000 a month for all of our T-hanger revenue. If we were to close for 90 days and give them some sort of, rate adjustment, whatnot, for 90 days, I think I wrote it down. Oh, it's $92,000.
See, to me, I liked option two, but 90 days and I think it was 56 days aren't that far apart. And I'm worried if one stretches, then we're going to pay 100-some thousand for nothing.
Mhm.
I would be interested in, first of all, doing something for our tenants, because if I leased out there and you close my access, I don't want to pay. But if we could do the first option and could turn that contract around so you can have $2,000 a day for every day under 90 days that you get done, that would excite me. Work a little extra, maybe stay a few hours, get that number down. Everybody wins.
Great. I think we're thinking very similar ways. Perhaps, we'll see. We'll see. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I always love hearing bad news.
I'll have some good news next time.
Oh, good.
Okay. Thank you, Lacey. Lignetics update, Sean.
Okay, Steve couldn't be here today, so he sent me an email with some information. They're starting the management of change, MOC in their language, for the bag house replacement. So I'll get some more information from him on that. I believe that's in their capital expenditure project list. I'll confirm that with him. And he said they also did a siding repair on the alley behind the plant that has eliminated a source of dust leaving the building. So I'm not sure how big that siding hole or what issue was, but they had noticed some leakage, I guess. So That's why I actually wanted to ask Jan if, what her thoughts were, since we last talked about the dust, how things are.
Well, as you know, we're entering the blissful period.
Yeah.
Because it's starting to rain and the wind direction is starting to change, and so that obviously works in the neighborhood's favor. I never parked a car outside until recently, and I really thought we had some improvement. I noticed looking at a car that I now park outside, not very much improvement, and I'm really saddened by that because they have done things. So the bag house, I think, is a key to seeing. I mean, this is kind of the final improvement that may make a change in what we're experiencing. Again, at this point, we don't have much to complain about until it looks like now May. Things start to change later and earlier every year. In other words, we had a really dry, warm September. And who knows, I mean, last year and the year before, it starts in May instead of June or July. So is there an anticipated on their management of change thing? Is it anticipated that bag house is going to be done this winter?
I will find that out and get back to you on that. The other thing I wanted to let you know is that we've engaged with Malt Foster and Alonji to talk about doing some source testing. We haven't got a scope, but we have a meeting this afternoon with them to talk a little more about what it might look like to set up some testing around the neighborhood. I guess part of that is to determine, is it just them? Is it Clearwater? We'd probably be able to tell because they've switched over to a hardwood, or at least in part. So we might be able to see some of those differences in the fines. Whereas I believe the Clearwater stuff is all, going for papers. I only know my paper that well, but Bob probably does. It's probably this area dug for chips or whatever they're using to barge up to Lewiston. But anyway, we'll find out from Malt Foster what it might look like, get a scope, see what the cost would be, so that we can do some testing on the
Sean,
material.
would we make sure that testing is done not when it's raining?
Yes, of course, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
No sooner than May, or probably even a little later would make more sense, yeah.
So is DEQ a partner in testing? Would they be? Isn't that kind of their bailiwick?
Currently, what they do is, they're just testing the stack stuff and the emissions and measuring to see if they're operating within their permit. But as far as actual field testing, I'm not sure if that's something they can do. Another thing we can look at for sure. Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's just logical. That's what they do.
I think their challenge might be, and I'm speaking a little out of school, is if they're operating within their permit, will they be proactive, and unless there is an actual.
Well, I guess my question is, does the permit not encompass the flow of the emissions? It's not just the emissions go up and fall straight down. Isn't there some?
But they're within the sawdust versus the actual material they're making.
Say again?
It's the sawdust that's just sitting there, isn't it? Partly the issue?
Nancy, getting the EQ out at all is an exercise. And I believe the last time they came, it was in November and it was raining. So, they made their trip, they did their thing.
But the thing of it is we're not talking about human beings. We're talking about some collection device. It isn't like it would cost them a lot of money.
They've never
done that. Never.
Well, not in the last 5, 6, 7 years.
Okay.
I think they came out about.
Contracted all out.
And that would be the neighborhood's complaint. They came out and put a bucket in somebody's yard to see how much sawdust collected in the bucket. And they said it was mostly all the leaves because it was fall.
I'll talk to our contact, to see if they're interested in doing some, what they have to say about Malt Foster, what we're doing, if they can, augment that, or I think to Jan's point, it's probably a staffing issue, and they, operating within a permit kind of situation, but worth asking for sure. And that's all I have.
Thank you for the update, Sean. New business.
Morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
I'm presenting Columbia County Corrections IGA Amendment number 6. For the past several years, the board has been using the services of Columbia County Community Corrections Work Group for assistance with various outdoor cleanup tasks, such as fence line and trail maintenance, trimming shrubs, weeding, gutter and roof cleaning, leaf raking, and other various activities at a cost-effective rate of $375 per day for up to 7 people. They've done impressive work, and the board would like to continue using their services. The IGA we currently have with them has recently expired. Amendment number 6 extends the IGA for 2 more years, and it changes the number of the minimum number of workers from 4 to 3 with 18 minimum labor hours, and updates contact information. So the staff recommends adoption of resolution 2025-28, authorizing the executive director to execute amendment number 6 to the IGA with Columbia County and other necessary documents.
Move approval.
Seconds.
All in favor?
Hi.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Back to you, executive director report.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Popular guy.
Much needed rest R&R last week. I appreciate that. Things ran quite well. Thank you, Amy and staff for not having to bother me, which I would have been glad to engage, but it wasn't necessary. You see my calendar there, busy day tomorrow. Today, I've actually been invited to talk with, I believe it's the Columbia City's firm that they've engaged with to do their Parks Master Plan.
Yes.
So I'm going to attend that this afternoon. And then also this, I didn't put it on here, but the engagement with Paul Foster and Alonji talking about some scope on some testing for the area. So quite timely. Tomorrow is the busy day, Colpack, NOEA. I'm not going to travel to Bay City, Oregon. I'll zoom in for that. And then in the afternoon, the Northwest Area Committee on Transportation meeting, another Zoom. Also, we'll divide and conquer some of us. I think Elliot will be up at Rainier Chamber tomorrow, Thursday. Federal coordination call and the CET business retention and expansion communications team. There's a couple of us that are involved in that. Brian, I think you're on a different team, but the communications team is meeting this week as well. The annual convention for Pacific Northwest Waterways is this week as well, or next week. And I know Nancy, you'll be attending that. It's like kind of a 2-day, but it's over 3 days, but it starts at noon or 1 on the Wednesday and then all day Thursday. And then I think Friday's optional. But always interesting. The IPNG, Inland Ports and Navigation Group, has a meeting during that time too. So we'll learn about some updates on the dam removal lawsuits and some of that stuff too. Also next week on Thursday is the Port, PGE, and Next are getting together to talk about use agreements specific to us and them outside of the global stuff, things that we need to get ironed out. The afternoon in World Trade Center downtown. If anyone's available, would like to attend that, it's going to be a roll up the sleeves with Chris Eford and PGE folks, and we'll hopefully try to get some movement on the water discharge agreement that had kind of been stuck a little bit. So we have some ideas for that. And Elliot's been really good at engaging and getting some options for things that we could possibly do there. So we'd like to get some movement out of PGE. We do understand that to them, this project Next is not real yet until possibly the EIS. So we can kind of understand a little bit their motivation or lack thereof, but they're engaging with us. Mark and I and Elliot had lunch 3 or 4 weeks ago to talk about some stuff leading up to this, and they agreed to have this meeting. So we'll have, I think, 2.5 hours with them on Thursday. And then, as Lacey mentioned, on the 20th, the runway rehabilitation phasing alternatives work session at 2 here. So if you're not busy during 2 o'clock on the 20th, come on down for that. Zoom. All right, excellent, even easier. On the 22nd, next has a quarterly standing meeting with DEQ, talking about permit status and things. And those have actually been canceled in the past if there wasn't anything to update. So as far as I know, this one on the 22nd is still happening. So, and then I have the earmark there for Port Commission work session on the 22nd. Should we decide we need to do something then? And then the Scappoose Economic Development Coordination meeting on the 27th. And I feel like I've messed something, but part of the month was vacation, so.
You have on your desks there a little notice about a public meetings training.
Right.
And this is as a result of the new legislation, which requires you to take a couple of trainings during your term of office.
Okay.
So some of you have 2 years, the others have 4 years to do it. Krista put this together. We noticed that there's one in Rainier for the public meetings law training. So I guess you can still do it by webinar at other times. But if you wanted to go to Rainier, there's one right there. And there's the link for the sign up on the October the 27th. We're also, the other one is the ethics training. Commissioner Kaiser had asked about whether the training we do every year in July qualifies for that. It does not qualify at this time, but we're trying to get SDAO approval of it. So I'll report back on that one.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very
Any
much.
questions for us?
Commissioner reports.
I don't have anything.
Only that the deed was transferred to the former Plattsburgh Business Center, so you are no longer the owners, and the fire district thanks you. The new roof is under construction.
Already.
It's almost done. It should have about 200,000. Yeah.
More than anticipated?
No, that's about what we thought it would be. Doing some improvements in there, but Elliot's still got a nice spot in there, so come by anytime. Thank you. Thanks for all your help in getting that done.
Good.
Yeah, not a lot from the last meeting, other than reading the materials for this meeting.
I attended the special meeting in Scappoose. I think it was last Monday, not this last Monday, Monday before. And it was all around the rezone request from Parker to rezone 50 acres from light industrial to commercial. And found it very interesting that as part of their plan for the development is a hotel. So I guess we're talking about either having 2 hotels in Scappoose, less than a mile apart, or maybe there's been a change of mind. So I guess we'll see as time moves on. The other thing was I had a lovely meeting with our newest employee. Thank you for being with me. And then we went from coffee over to PCC, and it was their manufacturing day. And that was so delightful that, any educational institution, you walk in and the room is just full of energy and lots of kids standing at different stations, learning about the different things that they're doing. Got to meet Chelsea, who's the director. Chelsea is amazing. She is such an asset to that organization. Love to see her connect with us. And just like we're doing with the county, having prisoners help us in certain maintenance areas, wondering, is there any possibility of some connection between the port and the students that are being trained at PCC?
They've actually did some wayfinding signs for us. At the Marina, is that right? Or
Right, they're doing several, they're calling them historical markers throughout Columbia County, including Columbia City, Scappoose, and Scappoose Bay Marina. And I'm waiting for a date, but they're gonna do I think it's an official post, we got the post up, hanging of this metal art that they made. It was tentatively set for October 11th, but I'm still waiting for a date confirmation, so we'll share it with you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it'll be a nice asset, and it's gonna have a scan code so that you can explore Columbia County.
Nice. Nice. And did they approach us or did we approach them?
Oh, gosh, it was over a year ago. They started that process and approached us through Gina, and we had an opportunity to sit on a Zoom meeting, Miriam and I and some others on that. And now it's kind of finally coming to fruition and getting it visible to the public, so.
So I'd also engaged with PCC about, when I came back from a conference, and Port of Long Beach has a Maritime Center of Excellence with a local community college that they work with. So I talked about some of those ideas with them, shared some information. And then they had received some sort of designation along those lines, but I don't believe currently there's any curriculum that they're offering. And I won't say it was because of what I did. It was something that PCC had already been pursuing, but the idea was, how can we get involved in any potential maritime or port type of training or education there? So not sure how that looks from a financial standpoint, but at least partnering and helping to get the word out that there's opportunity here, right, locally, where you can learn, whether it's like dispatching for a trucking company or just things like that, where all logistics related that feed into a lot of what ports do and even outside of ports. I'll continue to work some of those angles just to kind of stay engaged on that and see where we can have any synergies with them. But I like their energy for sure. And any chance I get to go out there, I like to go out and check that place out too. Really nice.
You got to make a t-shirt.
Nice. Yeah. We made buttons. We went to one of the manufactured days and we made buttons.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you for the report.
Sure.
And I don't have anything new to report. Bob?
Exec session.
Yep.
The Port of Columbia County will now meet an executive session pursuant to ORS 6602F to consider exempt public records, including written legal advice from the Port General Counsel, which is privileged and exempt from disclosure. Representatives of the news media and designated staff are allowed to attend. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report on the discussions or deliberations that occur during this or any executive session. The Port Commission will return to open session after the executive session, and we do not expect any decisions to be announced. Any persons excluded from executive session are welcome to return to open session when it is resumed. Thank you.
2-minute break. Meeting adjourned.
Well then, thank you all.
All right.